John Marchioni. I'm a co-chair of the Rotary at Work initiative along with Roy Balfour. And about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, we were introduced to a software platform called Wavelength. And Katie Gibson is the CEO of Wavelength, and she's with us tonight because she can answer everything that we can try to answer. She has the answers. And what we understood was that Wavelength was as an excellent platform for facilitating community engagement so that members of the community can find each other based on any attribute that has been uploaded and indexed into Wavelength. So we had lots of conversations and decided that we would license the software for a year and see what we could do with it. And the pandemic interrupted us more than we expected. And we didn't really feel that we had taken full advantage of it. So we redoubled our efforts at the end of the summer and said, let's figure out, let's give it another shot and see if we can explain it easily enough so that Rotarians can say, aha, I understand how I can use this to benefit myself personally or professionally in my business with my Rotary Club to pursue the good work that we're doing all around the district. So this is the third of 3 sessions like this. Each of them has been attended by somewhere between 12 and 25 people. And by the end of it, we hope you'll have a good understanding of it, or at an introductory level, of how you get in, what you can do with it, and why it might be a useful tool for you in any of those spheres, either personal, business, or Rotary. So what we've done with Wavelength is taken the data that we had in Club Runner, and then we asked Wavelength to do a data enhancement service for us that went out and, using mostly email addresses as a unique identifier, pulled in information that was publicly available through profiles that you had created on LinkedIn or Facebook. And then everything got indexed to make it simple for you to search and find other people on Rotary Wavelength 7910 who have some attribute that you're interested in. Now that might be somebody who lives in your town or within 5 miles of your town, or is a plumber, electrician, architect, lawyer, bank president, or has an interest in environment, youth programming, or one of the other 7 areas of interest. So the format that has worked well for us previously is to break this into 3 chunks. And the first is an introduction to Wavelength and how it works. And we've got a video that will make available to everybody after the fact as well. Katie, do you have it set and ready to go? Then let me make you a co-host as well, because you just do this better than I do. So, oops, that was to chat with you, which is not what I wanted to do.
The video is not on, so they're not going to see us.
Make a co-host. There we go.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and it's just going to take 1 second for me to also just turn my audio controls on. So let's see. Oops, wrong screen. Sorry.
So many tabs. So this will run about 3 minutes, and then we'll come back for Q&A. Okay, we can see it.
Excellent. I just am making sure to share my sound. And hello and welcome to Rotary Wavelength 7910. This online directory tool allows you to update your profile information and search and find and connect with fellow Rotarians using the Explore Your Map feature. What you're able to do is search by careers, interests, location, and more. So when you're updating your profile information, you want to make sure you include what groups you're a part of at your Rotary, as well as what other interests you want to get more involved in. Some of these areas of interest might be in this list that you see here, from peace, disease, water, maternal health, education, economic, and environment. When you start to write these into the group section on your profile, it will auto-populate and show up on the groups section here. All of that is then searchable in the top search bar. So when people are seeking who else might be interested in an initiative, they can find users by doing that level of search. A future video will go over search criteria in more detail shortly. Other things you can do on the platform is submit updates via text and photos that your admin will be notified by. You can submit job opportunities or volunteer Rotary specific opportunities using this job board. All of this can be done on this gated and private community. So the first thing you want to do is log in by going to rotary7910.searchwavelength.com and put your email and password in. If you have not logged in before or did not receive a link, you can simply request access by putting your name and email into the platform. If your email is already associated with a profile on file, you will be sent login instructions. Otherwise, admin will approve you and welcome you to this private community. After you've logged in, you can always update your settings and privacy in the bottom left corner. This is where you can change your password, update your email, as well as change your privacy settings of what you want visible to others. In addition to privacy settings, you can also update your subscriptions. Do you want to be notified about job posts that have recently been posted on the platform? Or be contacted via newsletter emails that might go out by admin? In addition, if you have any additional questions, you can simply click the help feature here and Wavelength will support and answer any technical questions. But don't forget to update your own profile with more information about yourself so other Rotarians can find you for various purposes. John, you're muted.
Thank you. Anyway, so that's just an introduction on how to get on, how you can manipulate your own privacy settings so that you can choose what to share and what not to share. Katie also put into the chat the link so that if you've never been on Wavelength before, you can click on that link and automatically get your password reset through another link. So Q&A time. Was that perfectly understandable, or did it generate any questions for you? I'll give you, here's one piece of information. Currently, Roy Balfour and I are set up as admins on Wavelength. So when you submit a request, it goes to one of the two of us, and when we don't have the answer, we ask Katie for help. So any questions? Yes. So if you can use if you can use the reaction button, when you put the reaction button and raise your hand, that pulls you to the upper left-hand corner of the screen, makes it really easy to see who's got a question. Karen, I saw your hand.
Yes, just this is the first time I've been exposed to this. So is this yet another platform in addition to the LinkedIn and some of the Rotary functions? And is this Rotary specific, or is this to the community? And anybody that wants to join?
No, this is so yes, it is a platform. It is not LinkedIn, it's not Facebook, and it's not Club Runner. It is a closed community that only has members of Rotary District 7910 and a selection of other folks who have been invited, and most of them came in through the Rotary at Work initiative and are not yet Rotarians, right? That's how they would get into it. Anyone can ask to become a member of this network, and if they have a connection to Rotary or 7910, we would likely grant that. Did that answer your question?
Pretty much.
Okay. Rob Mosher.
Can you give some examples as to how you see us using this? Like,
yep.
What are some applications?
Yep. Next video is going to come. We're going to get into that. This was how do you get on? Any other questions about that basic intro? All right, Katie, back to you. I would go with personal next, but you do what you want, Madam CEO.
Let's do personal. I will share that one. Rotary Wavelength 7910 is a platform beyond just Rotary specific initiatives. It's to help you connect with fellow Rotarians as you support your own businesses and also have your own personal needs. Here are a few features and examples of how it could be relevant to you. Let's say you have a job opportunity or posting at your company and want to post to a trusted source of career-minded individuals. The job board will allow you to post these opportunities to fellow Rotarians and has very similar job posting criteria to any page like LinkedIn or Indeed. Beyond that, there's an actual expiration date, so it will be self-removed for you and no action is required. In addition, you could post other volunteer opportunities, not just job postings to this job board. But let's say you have a personal project and you need support on your house or have legal questions. You can always search for fellow Rotarians who are specialized in that field. For privacy's sake, I'm moving over to a demo account where these searches are the same but using fake data. Let's say you needed an architect to help with a household update. You can find anyone who has that level of experience, click in, learn more about them, and reach out to them more directly. Alternatively, let's say that you needed legal advice for your business. You can do that search on the platform and find trusted advisors and trusted career individuals to help you with whatever you need. Back on the Rotarian page, it will be Rotary specific, private and gated community of Rotarians who are trusted to your personal projects. So don't forget to update your own profile information with more criteria about yourself so other Rotarians can find you, just as you will be able to find other Rotarians for your own projects and needs.
So Rob, that's getting us one step closer. It's still not there. We've got another, the next video is going to come back to a project orientation. Any questions on there about searching or how you can find people?
Are there any guidelines as to what's appropriate to post and what's not? Like if I had a service I wanted to sell, or a rental property I wanted to make available, like, is that appropriate?
So whether or not it's appropriate, it'd be hard to do because this is not a communication platform like a Facebook or a LinkedIn. It's more of a connection platform that lets you find other people who might be interested. So if you wanted to find a real estate agent to help you sell or rent that property, that would be something you could do on a straightforward basis. If you were looking for a plumber or electrician that you wanted to sell marketing services to, you'd have to search for them and then reach out directly on a one-to-one basis. If you wanted to reach all of them, you'd have to reach out to the admin and say, could you send an email to everyone you find when you do this particular search, people who live in Wayland, Weston, and Waltham, for example. So that would be feasible, but there might be, we would probably try it out, right? We want to see how productive this platform can be for Rotarians in District 7910. So for other types of projects, it'll become clear in the next one as well, in the next video. Any other questions? It's late in the day, people are quiet.
I will say, just to hop on that, Rob, just for the context of Wavelength, we intentionally don't have it be like a posting platform for that reason of we don't want to have like Rotary or the moderators need to be regularly checking in on who's posting what, and instead it's more of a one-to-one outreach or more mass outreach with targeted intention, which we'll get into in the next video. But the search is a complex search, so you can do not only like who is a real estate agent, but you could do who's a real estate agent within this location, or is it corporate versus you can do sub searches within that bar. So it's a complex search that continues to hone in, and the map itself too, you can click into any of the circles and profiles will pop up as well for you.
Thanks.
Victor, I saw a hand.
Yeah, she just answered it. I was wondering if we could do a search within like 5 miles of these categories. So like if a club was looking for project help, they
Yep.
could find the local clubs. I did have another question that came into my head. I just forgot it.
I suggest a notepad, sir. I have the same experience. Okay, Katie, let's go into the next one. Let's go right to it.
Sounds good. Just open that up. Hello, this is a little bit more about Rotary Wavelength 7910, specifically how Rotary specific initiatives can be supported on Wavelength. After you've logged into the profile, the top search bar allows you to hone your search and find Rotarians relevant to the projects you wish to work on. So let's say you wish to find people who have been have environmental background or might be interested in participating in an environmental interest. You can simply search that criteria and anyone who fits the profile is going to show up on this left-hand drop-down. For security purposes, I'm not showing those names, but this is fake data on this other platform that has a similar search. And as you can see, everyone who is engaged in some form of environmental work shows up on the left-hand side. As admin, they can not only search and see these users' information, but they could also email on behalf of an initiative you wish to communicate out more broadly. So if you search for people who have environmental background and you wish admin can email them with a potential volunteer opportunity, simply submit a note with that request for your admin to be able to email out what content and to which group you wish to do that outreach for. This means that you want fellow Rotarians to update their profile information to make sure it's up to date on not only their experience, but also what other groups they're a part of at Rotary or interests that they have in participating in. Some of these group interests could be these areas of service you see here on this slide. If you are interested in any of these areas of service, you can simply add that tag on your profile by editing the groups and writing in that tag. It will preemptively autofill for you. You can simply press the add button and therefore be searchable by others that is an interest that you have. Again, this top search criteria could be absolutely anything. So who might be a lawyer in the environmental field could show up, and then it will continue to hone your search further. As you click into people's profiles, you can reach out one-on-one, or if you want to group message, you can always request from the admin via the submit notes section for a message to be sent out to that specific group that you're interested in communicating with via Rotarian specific projects.
Thank you very much. So a couple of notes. One, there's a job posting functionality, but it doesn't have to be a paid job, right? So if you have a volunteer opportunity within your Rotary Club or outside your Rotary Club, you could post that as a job with an automatic expiration date of the day after the event takes place, so that it's there but then goes away. We're also going to be using a new feature that are content pages. And what we'll be doing there is posting project summaries on a particular project in an area of service. So DEI and the environmental task force are topics that we're already looking at as possible content pages, but they can be on just about anything and have fully formatted content there, so there can be clickable links back to the district website or to your club's website or to the partner, the organization with which you're volunteering and collaborating. So any questions coming out of that one in particular?
Yeah, John, I have a question. This is Vin.
Yeah.
It seems to me, maybe I missed this, but it seems to me the first issue you have to overcome is to get the database large enough so that when you have a query, you have enough people that might have the same interest. Is there a way, or have you thought of just automatically loading all the members that we have right now in 7910 just directly into this database?
They're already in, actually.
Oh, they're already in,
Everybody who was a member as of last October, or whenever it was that we did the import, was added. So what that also means is that anybody who joined after, let's call it October 1st, has not been added. We could do another upload, but we took all of the data from Club Runner and loaded that into Wavelength, and then did a data enhancement project so that we'd also pull in the professional information that you would find in LinkedIn, and stuff that was in Facebook and available as well.
okay. Sorry, I guess I missed that one.
No problem.
No,
She talks fast.
that also includes the tags on Club Runner as of last year. So RILA, like certain terms within Rotary, and I'm only going to remember RILA because I see it on John's background. But if you search some of those terms, they do show up already. But to your point, Vin, there is value to people continuing to personalize and update. But we do have not only Club Runner, but we've also linked it as many as we could to updated career information, and then from there people can personalize what else they want in their bio, group section, and otherwise.
Katie, can you explain how the data enhancement took place? It was LinkedIn and Facebook. So basically it took every Rotarian that was in the district and incorporated their public information that's on LinkedIn and Facebook. Could you tell us how that works?
And beyond that as well, but yes, basically our algorithms pull publicly shared information. So we don't scrape data. It's only if, you know, this is found, like some stranger could find this information if they went and searched this person's name. And so we are pulling all those data sources in. Facebook and LinkedIn are the top ones because those are the easiest to share and show as examples. But yes, that's how there's additional information beyond just like one career line that Club Runner might have.
So a couple of topics that have come up in previous sessions as examples of how we all might use Wavelength to find people. You might find people interested in environmental projects, RILA, Interact, DEI, or anything else that can that's a part of the areas of service. I know that the Montechusett area Rotary Club has asked that we send an email to everybody who lives within 15 miles of Leominster to invite them to participate in a fundraiser that they're doing. We talked with some folks in Needham who said, it would have been great to invite every Rotarian who lived within 10 miles of Needham to come to the Needham Carnival, at which point the folks in Framingham said, wait a second, we did it the week before, so they could have done it as well. Natick is looking for golfers to fill their last two foursomes for their golf tournament. So that's something that could go out to folks who either have golf in their profile, which I'm not sure if that exists already, but who live close enough to Natick to want to be able to do that. The Framingham Club is looking for volunteers to help flip pancakes or eat pancakes at their pancake breakfast. So if you're doing something with Rotary, there may well be a way to use Wavelength to find more people inside and outside of your club who may have expertise or interest to join you. Okay.
And to piggyback off of that, I just wanted to say back to kind of the concept of the content page, adding a little more information. We are aware that some people might not want to immediately flag themselves of like, yes, I'm interested in that. But if you provide more content and information around various initiatives, it just kind of spreads a little bit more awareness. And especially because this is district level rather than club, it kind of opens the doors to let people see some initiatives that might not be happening in their club directly, but they could opt in to participate at a different club or at the district level.
Going back to a question that Rob Mosher asked, it is entirely appropriate for you to reach out to anybody that you would find on the platform from a business perspective. You're not going to be able to spam them because nobody but the admins has the ability to send out a group email. So I can spam them, but you can't. That's a joke. I'll try not to do that. Though you'll notice that you've gotten a number of messages from me about this. The frequency will go down, but there's at least one more message coming out because we want to share the links to the videos that you saw today. Joyce Graff, what can we answer for you?
Yeah, I'm wondering the extent to which we are going to expect participation in this. And I'm wondering how much of it is passive versus active. So you say everybody who was a Rotarian as of last October is in the database. What does it mean to me? It will messages that I send within Wavelength go to their emails or something like that. So in that sense, it's passive, if you will. They don't have to take any specific action to participate to that extent. But in order to get more granular, they're going to have to update their profiles.
Everything you said is correct. Yep. So if I message someone through Wavelength, it will arrive to them as an email message, or if they have made it their telephone number visible, I could pick up the phone and call them, or I could assume that it's a cell phone and text them.
When you say visible, you mean in their Club Runner profiles?
Correct. No, sorry, in their Wavelength profile, because you can turn on and off your contact information and make visible what you prefer to have visible and hide what you prefer to have hidden.
So again, how much of that is passive versus active? So when you put in the Club Runner information, did you put the contact information into Wavelength?
I believe it did. Yes, we absolutely put it in, and I believe the default was that that email address would be visible and phone number would be invisible.
Yes, exactly. And location, like physical address is also hidden, but there is I can't remember what our default, whether it was like a 1 or 5 mile radius around your said location that shows up on the map.
Yep. I think it's 1.
Yeah, because I can imagine that at the beginning, almost nobody has an updated profile, but that as people are contacted, they might be inspired to update their profiles.
Yep. I think people are probably more likely to update their profile once they've figured out that they can find somebody that they wanted to find, right? Well, they've done a search and said, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I understand how this might be valuable to me. So now I'll update my profile so that I'm easier to find for the stuff that I'm interested in doing from a Rotary perspective.
So Joyce, that's a really valid call out between passive and active. And that's why the intent behind admin engagement, being able to do outbound without people logging in. We have on average 98% of our people who log in update their profiles for that reason of they see the value of why logging in and changing or updating their information makes sense. So the intent is for those that might not be seeing or understanding the value of Wavelength, they could still be receiving updates and requests that are, Rotary specific, and they can take action and never have logged into the platform, but still get a benefit from receiving emails. To those that might be doing more personal searches or project wide and logging in and making changes.
Victor Tom has his hands up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remembered my question.
Okay.
On the heat map that you showed, and you had a list of names after the search, bogus names. Can we tailor the list of names to include name and then name of club? Is that possible?
So the name of club won't show up on the left-hand side of the search, but when you click in, you can, or you can also do that club name search. So everyone on their profiles, those group tags that we've been talking about people like self-identifying, everyone has their club listed out within their profile. So you could do that search already of just who is part of that club and then hone your search further. But right now, unfortunately, we can't default show that in the list form that you're talking about on the left-hand side.
Do you have the and or to do the combinations of logic?
Yeah, so you don't even need to put any of the and symbols. It's just like comma or space, and we'll do that complex search for you.
What about or?
So we don't have or, but we don't have or right now. I know it is part of our conversation. At this time, you just have to kind of do 2 separate searches.
Okay.
Katie, you got to watch out for him. He knows software.
I've got a great back-end team, and you probably know more than I do on some of that software background.
Nice. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was wondering if Katie can give us some examples of other organizations that are using this and how they're using it.
The hard part is giving you examples of Rotary organizations. The other one's easy. Go for it, Katie.
So the one thing that I didn't do in my intro today was actually sharing the creation of the platform was focused to start with education. So we work with a lot of college associations, K-12 schools. So we started there and have since expanded into other nonprofit membership groups. But the concept is having a community platform that removes the noise of, the LinkedIn and Facebooks that is private and also does not have too much heavy lifting from admin needing to monitor engagement. And it really just allows people to log in when and where they're ready to connect.
What else? Roy, did we miss anything that we covered really well in a previous session? Remember?
Yeah, we covered it very well. I think, again, it boils down to this started as a notion of saying, wait, one of the biggest problems we've got in our district is, hey, wait a minute, I'm doing a project and I don't know if 2 towns over there's a Rotarian that this project would resonate with. And that's really one of the reasons why we started this, was to increase engagements, not only just for your business purposes. If you want to find an electrician, a plumber, somebody to do business with, that's fine, but also to engage on Rotary efforts. And that map, you couldn't see it, but go in and take a look. It's pretty nice, because you say, look, I'm doing a project on education, and it'll actually show you physically where they're located. And so you might pick the people who are close to you. So I think that's an element that you don't see in any other platform that I've ever seen.
Something that I neglected to mention in the videos is on your home screen when you log in. If you scroll down, there are 2 sections that help kind of get you off the ground. One is suggested searches that are related to your profile and show some other people's names that might, share similar interests to yourself. And the other is called Network Insights. So if you click into those graphs, they show just general trends of the breakdown of, what industries are Rotarians at large a part of. And you can click into any of those graph items to say education versus legal versus finance, and you'll be redirected to the map with a list. So it just kind of helps prompt a little bit of some of those searches as you're trying to get off the ground, more for your personal searches rather than some of the Rotary specific ones that we've been talking about.
I think the thing that got missed was the fact that what it also did was bring in not only your name and address and telephone number and that kind of email stuff, but it also brought in the kinds of things that you express interest in LinkedIn and Facebook. So in essence, when you're searching, you're also basically searching Facebook and LinkedIn at the same time.
What else? Any other wonderings? No? It's kind of interesting. You can go in and you say, well, I'd like to, so I went to Dartmouth College and I just typed it in. It's like, I wonder which Rotarians also went to Dartmouth College. There are only 3, as far as I can tell. I haven't drilled down into it yet, but you might do the same thing to figure out for the high school you attended, the B school you attended, the law school you attended, or where you used to live, where you live now, where you work. I encourage you to be curious and give it a shot and say, I wonder if I can find this. And you'll know. Really
I will say, from a high school perspective, that unless people have posted that on social, we might not have it unless they're part of a community that we already exist and that'll pre-populate. But yes, to everything else.
Good point. Okay, folks, if there are no more questions, then we can cut you free. You're going to get another email from me through Wavelength. It'll include the links to the 3 videos that we saw today. It'll include the email address where you can reach me or Roy and ask any questions that you have. And when you come up with a communication that you'd like to put out to some audience that you've found on Wavelength, all you'll need to do is write the message, right? Just like you write an email to one person, you can write the message and then send it to me, send it to us rather, and we can send it out to that group that you identify. So if you say, I want to send Vin, with your Dinner on Us fundraiser coming up, you can say, send this out, please send this out to every Rotarian who live within 6 miles of Wellesley. We can do that, sure. You could also say, yeah, don't send it to people in Newton's, only send it to Wellesley, Natick, Framingham. Don't send it, we don't, right? It can be that targeted if you want, okay?
Okay.